Hey, it's Double Krown. So we are all being played on social media. We're all being trolled. We are all being triggered. We're all being psy-oped, and that is a psychological operation. So if you spend any amount of time on Twitter, I do. If you spend any amount of time on Facebook, on YouTube, again, I spend a lot of time on YouTube. And if you consume a lot of information, you can bet you are being psy-oped. You are being trolled and you are being triggered, and you've probably felt those reactions for yourself. Because it's becoming apparent, as pointed out in the King James Bible, Ephesians 6:12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So, how are they doing this? How are they achieving this? It's an incredible operation they've got on social media, and if you've spent any amount of time on social media, you will realize the level of sophistication, the way that they control you, the way that they can trigger you, and the way that they can perform their psychological operations on you. It's quite impressive. How do they do it? Okay, well, I've got a theory. Okay, well, my theory is that they are using artificial intelligence in social media. So what I've done is I've prepared some tips for you, 7 tips in fact, 7 tips on how to avoid being manipulated by artificial intelligence, particularly in social media. Okay, tip number 1, you can't beat AI, yeah? For the human brain to beat AI, it's virtually impossible. Think about a chess game. The computers beat human beings at chess now almost every single time. A decent computer, even a decent desktop home computer, is going to be a grandmaster almost every time now. And you can't beat AI. So my tip number 1 is to just get away from social media completely, because once you're interacting with the social media, you're in their AI system. So take a break, take a few months off, take a holiday, maybe get a job or work on a project, anything to get you away from for social media. Take a break for a few months, maybe a year, maybe 2 years even. Just take a break from it and then come back at a later time refreshed, and you can then carry on as if nothing had happened. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about with artificial intelligence. Here I've got an article, CNN Tech, Man versus Machine, Google computer wins first match against world Go champion. And this article shows that Google are actually working on artificial intelligence. It goes on, it says, computer 1, human 0. A computer program built by Google has won the first round against the world's top player of the ancient Chinese board game Go, signifying a significant advancement in artificial intelligence. So you can bet Google are working hard on these technologies, as are Microsoft, as are Sony, as are all the big tech companies. They're all working on artificial intelligence, and obviously they're getting better and better. So now they can beat human players at Go. We already know they can beat human players at chess, and they're applying this artificial intelligence to social media. And well, if we're gonna deal with this technology, well, one way is actually not to engage with artificial intelligence. It's just too clever. It's just too sophisticated. You're not gonna beat artificial intelligence. Okay, my tip number 2. If you've got a YouTube channel, make sure your channel does more than one thing. So, for example, I started by gaming, but I've moved on to do other stuff. So if you've got a gaming channel, make sure you do something else. If you've got a makeup channel, or if you do pranks, whatever it is, just try and do more things on your channel, because artificial intelligence will have a much greater difficulty in processing your channel if it covers lots of different topics, because of course they like to pigeonhole you. They want to put you in one particular category. They want to put you down as a gamer, and once you're stuck as a gamer, they want to stick you there for life. Now, of course, you can open many different channels, but that means that each individual channel can be processed using their artificial intelligence. But if you've got one channel that does everything, it becomes almost impossible for artificial intelligence to process that. Similarly, on the same point, in the same vein, I would say make sure your videos cover more than one thing. For example, a vlog would cover you doing lots of different things. If you have a rambling episode where you just talk at random about various things in the news, current affairs, or about gaming, or whatever it is, just ramble, create vlogs. Make sure your videos cover lots of different things. Occasionally, of course, your video might have to cover specific things, but if you can do the vlogs and the rambling episodes, that is definitely a good tip there. Okay, my tip number 3 is don't watch and consume too much YouTube. Don't watch too many videos. You will be psy-oped. You will be triggered. You will be played. Best way to avoid this is to focus on your own content, or if you're busy doing something else, whatever it is, housework, just keep away from the videos. Don't watch too many of them. The occasional one perhaps is fine. Perhaps stick to YouTubers that you trust, that you know, because you will be psy-oped if you consume too much YouTube, too much Facebook, too much Twitter. You will be triggered. You will be psy-oped. You will be played. Don't watch too much of it. Don't get too involved. Right, my tip number 4 is to use history. So what do I mean by using history? Well, what I mean is use your own experience and your own personal history, your personal experiences. Because, of course, artificial intelligence is not going to know about your personal history, and it's not going to know about your personal experiences. Maybe recent experiences, or maybe very historical experiences that you've had. Another trick is not to release all your material in one go. So you could do a video, but you might withhold it. You could keep it maybe for a few months, maybe even for a year, maybe even for 2 years or 5 years. But hang on to your material and release it at random times, at odd times. Release it when even you're not expecting to release it. And that way you can beat the artificial intelligence. Okay, my tip number 5. Don't get stuck in the comments section. By that I mean don't get stuck in a back and forth conversation. These ridiculous conversations you find in the comments section, perhaps on Twitter, perhaps on Facebook, those ridiculous conversations, because you'll be trolled, you will be triggered, you will be psy-oped, but above everything else, you'll be wasting your time. And time is precious. Time is precious. You're wasting your time. You could be getting on with something else. You could be getting on with something valuable, or working on one of your projects and getting that released. So don't waste time in the comments section. Okay, my tip number 6. Don't get bogged down by irrelevance. By irrelevance, I mean, those ridiculous issues like transgender issues. So just recently I saw a video about Paul McCartney. Is he a man or a woman? Paul McCartney and his transgender wives. It's getting ridiculous. Soon you won't know the difference between black and white, between man and woman. Michelle Obama, is she a man or a woman? I mean, does it matter? Does it matter? But you get bogged down by these irrelevant issues like transgender is one, race and religion is another. And I've also seen these evil name generators. So, for example, Elvis Presley. Elvis is an anagram of evils. But of course you can get these evil name generators which can do something similar. So, I mean, I tapped in my name, Double Krown. And what did I get? I got Diablo the Arrogant. So you can pretty much take anybody's name and turn it into some kind of evil name and make some kind of conspiracy out of it and make a connection which just doesn't exist. So Double Krown there, Diablo. I would be known as Diablo. Diablo was the youngest of the prime evils, but I found him the most dangerous, for his power over terror left him incapable of feeling fear. So Diablo, there you go. I'm Diablo, Double Krown. But you'll be creating these ridiculous conspiracies where these conspiracies just don't exist. These links, these connections, you'll be making lots of false connections. So don't get bogged down by irrelevance. Tip number 6. Okay, and in my final tip, tip number 7, I would quote from the Bible, Matthew chapter 6, verse 3. Don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. And by that I mean mix everything up. Mix it all up. Do stuff that even you thought you wouldn't do. And that way you can avoid the artificial intelligence. Don't consume too much. But always mix things up, vary things up, confuse things. And you can beat the artificial intelligence systems out there. Don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Thanks for watching. That was Double Krown. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you enjoy my content, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.